Hello and welcome back to Devlog number 6. If you guys are new here, I'm Clemonades. I make a lot of game jam games and I'm currently working on my first official game. It's a tiny little roguelite inspired by Downwell, only you go up instead. And if you want to know more, you can check out the previous devlogs. There'll be a link up at the top. Let's get into it. It's like sort of a repeating pattern that I take your guys' feedback and implement it every video, and this one's no different. So let's get to your guys' feedback first. I had asked in the last video if you guys thought that the trail effect on the players should be different for each playable character, and a couple of you guys agreed with me, so I went ahead and implemented that. So as you can see, player 1 here has this color trail, and then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Cyborg, he's got more of an orange trail effect. His bullets are still blue, but I think I'm probably gonna change those to orange too. Just haven't done it yet. Finally, our last character, Annie the Assassin, has this pink trail. Shout out Destus Games and Figgles for agreeing with me on that and suggesting it. And I'm still planning on changing these trails to be more of a pixel art style, as someone had suggested. I forget who it was, but I think you're right. They don't quite look pixely enough. I also added a glow effect to all the enemies, so as you can see, the bats have this little glow around them, the spiky boys up there, the worms, they all have a little bit of a glow just to kind of make them pop a little bit more. I had asked that question in the last devlog, and Yale Dimmers, Inkwalker, and Raphael agreed that they should probably have some sort of glow effect, maybe just a tiny one. I might make it a little bit smaller, the radius around them that glows, but I think they pop a lot more than they did in the last video, so pretty happy with that. I'm not sure I actually agreed with the people suggesting this. No offense to the suggestion. I think it's a fairly good suggestion and it makes sense. But since so many of you guys suggested it, I went ahead and did it. Yale Dimmers, you had suggested a few times, Cloudy, Native, and Inkwalker. You guys had all suggested that enemies that you need to use to platform to areas should not die. That's those floaty boys and the mushroom boys, the ones you gotta bounce off of to get places. The reason that I had them dying in the first place is because they springboard you so high into the air already that you don't really get a second shot to bounce on their head. I went ahead and made them never die, but I'll show you. Look, I'm so high off the screen that I gotta kind of guess where he is, and I die anyway trying to bounce on him again, right? I don't know, you just gotta guess where he is, and maybe you can kind of keep yourself up, but not really. You guys have to let me know what you think about the not killing the bouncy people. So I've been working on level progression quite a bit. So when you get to the end of the level, instead of just a transition happening and you appearing in the upgrade shop, you're now met with this section. And you can't go any further up. There's like an invisible stop there, and you're met with this little thing. And when you hit it, you get this really cool little animation. And look at that, this teleporter appears. And you walk into it, then you appear in the next shop. So I think that's pretty cool. The other thing I worked on was Zako had this suggestion, but to tint the caves. So as you can see, we're now on cave level 2, and the caves are a little bit different colored, because I think you're gonna have to get through 3 levels for each area, and we're gonna have like 4 areas at this point. I think 3 levels, 4 different areas, a boss fight in each area to be able to beat the game and kind of show progression pretty easily. We just tint the platforms just a little bit so that they look slightly different. It feels like you're making progress on the game, and then when you get here, you can hit this cool level exit trigger, you get this cool effect, and it spawns in the platform. I think it probably still needs some more juice and polish. I'll have to work on it a little bit more, but it's pretty good for now. And then if you'll notice, the shop actually maintains the same tint as the level that you were just in. And then I can show you the 3rd level of the cave world real quick. The other thing that I worked on was the player's entrance. Instead of them just appearing, it's like you walk into that teleport machine at the end of the level and it beams you further upward. So I think the story is going to be like this mad scientist saying, I can only get you so far, you got to go activate the switch and then I can teleport you further, or something like that, right? And then that's the little teleport effect that you just saw. I'm fairly happy with it. There's some weirdness happening with the trail if you can't tell at the very beginning, but that's because I updated the logic to place the player. So before, he just would spawn here, and if there was something in his way from the level generation, he was kind of screwed, and I had to keep refreshing. You guys never actually saw this bug, but it was sort of the bane of my existence for a while. What I've done instead is place these 16 blocks, and then when the game starts, it loops through each of those blocks and determines, are any of these hitting an obstacle, an enemy, spikes, players, a platform? If they are, delete them, and then pick the one that's closest to the player's original position, move the player there, and spawn him from there. So that's what's happening on start. Other than the trail moving, the like appearing in looks pretty cool. Okay, and then the very last thing that I have worked on that I think the thumbnail probably spoiled again, because I keep showing you guys the coolest thing in the thumbnail. It's that dang clickbait, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, the cool thing that I worked on that you guys have not seen yet is I started on a new biome. It's the world you get to after the cave world. So in my mind right now, at least, and obviously this is subject to change, but I think the ideal is you gotta climb your way out of the caves. You end up in an underground facility, an underground lab. You gotta climb your way out of the underground lab, and then you wind up in like maybe a forest or something, and then you need to climb your way out of that, and you wind up in like mountains, and you gotta climb to the top where you will defeat the evil scientist that was afraid of your true cyborg AI that threw you into the deep dark hole in the first place. Who knows if that stuff's gonna happen, but that's what I'm thinking right now. So anyway, the next biome that I've been working on is the sci-fi world. This is where the majority of my work's been, is working on the tile map for this particular world. The different like Tetris-y patterns on the platform, on the tiles, took some effort to do, and then the pipes were my own addition to the background. Someone had suggested putting pipes in the background in the first place, but I put them back there and I think they look pretty awesome. And yeah, so this is just sort of a techie science lab type of looking room. It's got the exit already implemented, and it's got its own upgrade room that you also go to. That's like a sci-fi themed upgrade room. The same tinting effect works in the sci-fi area too, so you have like sci-fi 1, sci-fi 2, sci-fi 3. That's just sort of automatically already working because of what I did with the cave levels. Kind of cool. Unintentional, but cool. I really like the feel of this level. I'm not sure I'm sold on the gold looking flooring. I might change the color of that. I guess here is a good example of when not killing him would work. Yeah, maybe it was a good suggestion. That's about all I've got for this devlog. Let me know what you guys want to see next devlog. It's either going to be boss fights or more upgrades, more guns, more weapons, more cool stuff like that. Like I've got bouncing bullets, grenade bullets, bullets that maybe have some sort of effect like freezing. I want to work on that kind of stuff, and I want to work on a boss fight, but I just don't know which one to do next. And if you have suggestions for upgrades, please let me know in the comments. That's it. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. I played way too much Death's Door. If you guys haven't played it yet, it's freaking awesome. Like Dark Souls meets A Link to the Past or something. Really funny, really enjoy it. Clemenade's quick review, 10 out of 10. Go get it, it's awesome. Once again, I'm still just blown away by how fast our community is growing. It's really, really cool. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for watching. See you next year. Until then, peace.